How's it going, everyone? My name is Joe Cox, and thank you for tuning in to Joe C. Cox Photo. As always, we do have a new plan for the video. Second, this is an unscripted video. And third, this video will cover my own personal workflow and experiences, so there will be some things included, some things excluded. Today's video, still working in Adobe Photoshop, but today we are going to be looking at how to rotate and flip your images, as well as use the free transform tool in there. And that sounded real weird, but basically we're going to be also learning how to use free transform and just navigate all around that. So let's go ahead and dive on in. First thing you will notice is up top, we are in Adobe Photoshop 2024. And down in the bottom right, you will see that we have a background layer, and then we also have our layer 1. So we are selected on our layer 1. And almost everything that we're going to be doing today can be found, well, not almost everything that we're doing today can be found up in Edit. And when we hit Edit, we're going to go and start with the flipping and rotating an image real quick. And so to do that, you go to Edit, Transform, and then you have all those options right down here. So you could rotate 180, rotate 90 degrees clockwise, rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise, flip horizontal, or flip vertical. Of course, don't really need to show you any of that. I think you get the idea. But then the other thing that we were going to cover today was going to be this free transform. So if you click on free transform, you'll notice that we got a little border around our image and this little dot here in the center. So this dot here in the center is actually what is called a reference point, and it's basically a fixed point in your photo or layer that you're going to be transforming from. Well, what do I mean by that exactly? So right now you will notice that our reference point is in the dead center of the photo. So if I rotate our photo by clicking and dragging off out here in this kind of gray area, you'll notice that our photo is turning from the dead center. Now, if I go Command Z to undo that real quick, and if I go up into the top left, this is a little scale or grid where you can actually start to change your reference points. So if I go up into the top middle here, you'll notice our reference point shifted from the middle and went up to here now. So what does that mean? Well, when I go and start to rotate our image, you'll notice instead of rotating from the center, it is now rotating around that top reference point. Command Z, just to undo it again. Now, if we went down to, let's say, the bottom right-hand corner, again, we can see our reference point down there and started to rotate that. Well, it's rotating from the bottom right-hand. Command Z to undo. So I'm going to put that reference point back in the middle. Additionally, with that little reference point, if you want to, you can actually just click and drag it to different areas of your photo. And one thing you will notice, but when you do this, it is changing our X and Y position up here. Additionally, I'm going to put that reference point back in the middle. And if you ever want to, you can actually just turn off that reference point entirely by clicking that little button right there. But I like to have it on personally, so I'm going to turn mine back on. Moving over now, we do have our width and height. In the middle right here, we do have this little link tool. When you have this toggled and selected, if you change one, it will change the other. So we went to a 50% width, which means we got a 50% height. If we went down to 25% width, we get a 25% height. If we turn this off, and now we change our width, well, we start to distort our photo a bit. If I go back to 100, now if I change our height a bit, and just get it back, because now you're kind of getting how the width and height work. Going to link those two back together. We kind of already saw this change a little bit. So this is our rotation tool up here. You can either click and drag it and start doing very precise rotations. I'm going to hit Command Z. Oh goodness. I'm just going to go in and type 0 up there. Or if you do the click and drag method, you will also see that it begins to rotate your photo. I'm going to go in, click 0. Next is going to be our skew. So this is going to be a horizontal skew and a vertical skew, and you will see that these are degrees. So if you start to change this, we could say, let's go to 45-degree horizontal skew. And that's what it starts to do. We're going to go back down to 0, and then same thing with the vertical. What does that look like? Wow. And we're going to go back down to 0. Then moving further right, we move over to this interpolation. Long story short, never change that. Just keep it on bicubic. It is basically how Adobe Photoshop uses the algorithms to decide what color pixels need to go where and what those color pixels should be while you're doing transformations. Yeah, you don't need to. If you're watching this video just learning about free transform, just keep it on bicubic and call it a day. But last thing, additionally up here, you will notice that there's this little, I don't even know what you want to describe that icon symbol, but it is the switch between free transform and warp mode. So if you click on it, we get into warp transform, which I'm going to save for a later video. So I'm going to click back off of that. Lastly, whenever you do make changes to your layer or image, you do have to decide to either decline them, or what does it say, cancel transform, or commit transform. So you either have to approve it or cancel it. In this case, we're going to hit approve. And that covers our free transform. So that is today's video. Again, just going over flipping, rotating, and the free transform in Adobe Photoshop. So very useful, especially good to know early on. But as always, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. And don't forget to give the video a like. Don't forget to get down in the comments and let me know what you thought. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe. It does help the channel out, and you don't want to miss out on all the good information that I'm releasing. So I will catch you guys on that next video. Thank you so much again, and have a good one. Bye.